Army of the Dead, directed by Zack Snyder, is a 2021 action horror film. The story follows a group of mercenaries after a zombie outbreak in Las Vegas. They enter the quarantined city to steal $200 million from a casino vault. Upon entering the city, they learn that these aren't your regular zombies. They're smarter, faster, and organized. They soon realize that for this Army of the Dead, Vegas isn't a prison, it's their kingdom. I was looking forward to this movie so much. Like, let that be known straight up. I am a huge Zack Snyder fan. I love his work. I'm all for stylized films, you know? I'm one of the few people who actually enjoyed Sucker Punch. Like, I really dug that movie. So it bums me out to have to say this movie was so disappointing. The story is easily the best and worst part of this movie. They set up this great idea of these different zombies. You know, they can think, they're organized, they're not just mindless drones. You know, they've taken over this city completely. They have rules, they have codes that they follow. All interesting stuff that would have made for a unique take in a pretty tired genre. But no, we didn't really get any of that. For the most part in this movie, the zombies are regular zombies who can just kind of run fast. Besides that bargaining scene when they first enter Vegas, the plot is pretty much dropped entirely. All the scenes with the alpha zombies take place in that one room with the empty pool at the Olympus. The story we do end up getting is so bare bones that you don't really invest in any of it. None of the characters have any sort of arc they go on, besides Batista's character. And even still, not really. For the most part, this movie turns into walk to a location, say some exposition and some jokes, zombie fight, repeat. You know, it's a very basic, almost not there story. Like, yeah, I know it's just a dumb zombie popcorn flick, but there still has to be something to care about. And I can honestly say this story gave me nothing to care about. I didn't care about any of the characters. I didn't care about anything they were doing. By the time we get to the vault, I honestly don't care if any of them make it out with the money or not, because the story hasn't been told in any sort of way that I can be attached to any of these characters or anything they're doing. Like, yeah, for the most part, there are some good performances here, but all these characters are so shallow. The acting from some of these performers definitely saves the characters. Batista, Amari Hardwick, the actors that play Dieter and Lily, I don't want to butcher their names, but those four did a really good job with the characters they played. Honestly, if the movie was just those four, I would probably feel a little bit different about it. They were easily the only characters who had something to offer to this film. As far as bad performances go, I'm sorry, but Tig Notaro was just terrible in this movie. Nothing she did or said had any sort of emotion or believability behind it. I honestly think she was only cast in this movie because she looks kind of cool with some aviators and a cigar in her mouth. It felt like she was just reading someone else's lines with almost no enthusiasm in anything she was doing, but I'll get more into that later. That was probably the worst performance. As far as who the worst character was, that was easily Batista's daughter, Kate. Rarely does a character make me want to turn a film off, but she was just so annoyingly stupid. The entire subplot of her having to go rescue her friend Gita was completely unnecessary. It felt just like the Russian family from Joss Whedon's Justice League. It was just this unnecessary addition to try to shoehorn in a civilian perspective. It was so ridiculous. We have no reason to even be sympathetic towards this woman, besides the fact that she's a mom. And right after they get inside Vegas, Lily says this.
Well, everyone has a mom, you cunt.
So you really don't care. And she didn't even need to go in there. She was just going in there for some money because she didn't want to move to Barstow and just get a job. So Kate literally putting the entire team and mission in jeopardy just to save her equally stupid friend just ends up feeling like a kick in the balls. And when the mission does fail, because the mission of course fails, Gita dies anyway. She didn't save her. All of it was for nothing. Every decision that she made resulted in a new obstacle for the team to have to overcome. She was just a walking, talking monkey wrench. A character put in this movie for no other reason than to force some drama into situations where there are none. Goose was definitely a surprise for me. I thought the social media influencer type of guy would be the one character I could not relate to at all. Like when he first walked in and took that selfie, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna hate this guy. But he actually ended up being one of my favorites. He was pretty funny, he was pretty cool too. That gold AK-47 he had was pretty dope. He was for sure my surprise favorite in this movie. And besides that, every other character in this movie was forgettable. And that includes Zeus. I would say he's the worst villain I've seen in a movie, but he's not even a villain. He literally spends, I want to say 90% of his screen time walking around in a cape. You know, we never actually see this guy do anything that would justify him being the king zombie. You know what I mean? Like, I get it, he's the first one, but why every other zombie chooses to follow him and obey him is never touched upon. Why is he the king? Why is he so much smarter? What makes him so much stronger? I don't know. This movie doesn't show him do anything. He literally doesn't even start to pursue Batista and the mercenaries until about an hour and 40 minutes into the movie. And his reason for attacking Batista has nothing to even do with Batista.
What the hell is that? The head of his queen.
So at the end, this big climax where the film's main good guy and the film's main bad guy finally meet on screen, there's no payoff. Nothing's been built up between these two. They don't even know who each other are. They literally just stare at each other like, who the fuck is that? Who the fuck is that? He shows up for 20 minutes and then dies. Crap character. I'm sorry. Cinematography is pretty good. Like I said, I'm all for style, and this movie has it in spades. I could sit here and talk about how beautiful that opening shot was, but it pretty much speaks for itself. Some of these scenes look like they were taken straight from a comic or a graphic novel. I don't know if they have an opening shot Hall of Fame, but Zack Snyder should be in the opening shot Hall of Fame. Lots of great establishing shots that really set the location, and really cool intimate shots that put you in the middle of it. My only problem was Snyder's use of that shallow focus technique. Characters would enter or exit frame completely in a blur. Some scenes it worked and it looked pretty cool, but some scenes it kind of missed the mark and made the film look cheap. For those of you who don't know, Tig Notaro, the actor who plays the pilot, all of her scenes were green screened in. She was never on set with any of the actual actors. And unless I told you she was green screened in, you would have never noticed. Except for one scene. It's a scene early on where all the characters are standing around talking and she's completely clear while everything else around her is a blur. Like from head to toe, you can see her like she's in 4K, but you can't see 3 inches in front of her hands. It's kind of ridiculous. Like it didn't even look like green screen at that point. For me, it almost looked like rear projection. Like I said, some scenes it works, and some scenes it was just too much. You know it's too much when you start to notice it. All right, now to the good stuff. I can't talk about this movie without talking about all the time traveling alien robot stuff too. So if you didn't know, or you just didn't pick up on it, there's an entire second plot of this movie where the team of mercenaries are stuck in a time loop, and this is actually the 4th time they've tried the mission. Each go through they make it a little bit further. And if you pay attention, there are actually a lot of clues that suggest this. The scene at the vault with Van and Dieter, we see those other bodies dressed just like the characters. You even hear Van say,
"Is it another team or is it us, Dieter? Huh? Think about it. Us."
And there are a lot of clues that this is the 4th time they've been through here. One of the bodies has a necklace on it with a key, and that key has 3 holes in it. But if you look at the current key, it has 4. And then later on in the film, after he shoots the bride, he says,
I shot it 3 times. Actually, it was 4.
the nuke that they're sending to the city is supposed to hit on the 4th of July. Goose walks around this entire movie with a gold AK-47. And when they open that vault, there are 3 gold AK-47s already in there.
A 1, 2, 3, 4.
Blueprints they find on the table that they think is another team is actually from them. It's their blueprints they left the last time they were there. You see another set of bodies dressed like them sitting at a table inside the casino. The zombie's origin is also revealed to be alien. If you look close in the beginning, at Area 51, you can see 2 spaceships take off in the sky, plus all the blue blood mixed in with their red. And if alien zombies weren't enough, this movie also has robot zombies. Why are these robot zombies here? Who put these robot zombies here? We don't know. It's never explained in this movie. They're not even mentioned in this movie. We only know about the robots and the alien origins because Zack Snyder has since come out and confirmed it after the fact. All of this is great stuff, don't get me wrong, all right? I'm a huge nerd. So if you tell me there's a movie that's got time travel, zombies, aliens, and robots fight mercenaries in Las Vegas, sign me up. But the reason why I'm so disappointed in this movie is because they introduce all these great concepts, all these great ideas, and then they never do anything with them. Now they dangle this new and unique movie in your face, then they turn around and slap you with a generic zombie flick. Everything in this movie felt like set up for a next movie, or you should have saw the previous movie first. This didn't feel like its own contained story, and that's so aggravating. You could trim this movie down so everything that takes place fits in like the first half. That way you could use the second half of the movie to explain the robots, explain the zombies, explain the time loop, explain all that stuff, actually develop characters, actually build to something in the end besides, uh-oh, we're gonna get another one. But no, before we understand anything in this movie, we first have to go watch another movie and 2 prequels and a sequel and a graphic novel tie-in, AMAs and Q&As and all type of, we can't just watch this movie and understand this movie. And for me, stuff like that really hurts a film. Like, yes, some of the characters were good, some of the acting was good, all the shots were great, all the zombie action was good, all the gore was crazy, all the action felt visceral, but it's just fluff. Like, all that stuff just makes the movie look good. There's nothing actually here. And if it is here, they didn't do anything with it. It's just style over substance. And for that reason, I'm gonna have to give Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead a D+. Let me know what you think. Maybe I'm just crazy, you know? Maybe I'm the guy who just didn't get it and he's taking the zombie movie way too serious. You know, maybe it's just not my thing. I don't know. Like, honestly, this movie was so dumb. It was hard to get through. It literally took me like 4 tries to get through. That's...
Actually, it was 4.
Fuck.